At Winchester Public Schools, we believe that every student has the right to an excellent education in a safe, experiential, and imaginative learning environment. We believe that every student deserves equitable opportunities to learn, grow, lead, and serve. We believe that an intentional focus on future-ready skills and dispositions, integrated with essential academic knowledge, develops an empowered 21st century graduate. We believe that mental, emotional, and physical health are essential conditions for optimal learning. We believe that collective efficacy and shared accountability are vital ingredients to a productive, empowered workforce. We believe that Winchester Public Schools must be a learner-centered, agile, and courageous in modeling the power of public education across our Commonwealth, country, and world. We believe that a vibrant public education system positively impacts the social, economic, and civil well-being of Winchester. We believe that embracing the diversity of our students and their families and our community is a strength that unifies us. We believe that to achieve equity, we must clearly define and monitor to the extent to which all learners and groups are empowered through access, diversity, and inclusion.
At this time, I ask that you all rise, remove your hat or hood, and recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Kevin and Keith. For the chairman's comments, I'd just like to welcome back everybody coming back from spring break. We're definitely in the home stretch of the school year, as can be evidenced by the preparations for Apple Blossom. Happy Bloom, everyone. Melissa, I like the shirt. Yeah, so we're almost to the end of the school year. Let's keep it going strong. Superintendent's comments?
To that point, I just want to say, I always say there's no tired like beginning of school year and end of school year tired. So I just want to recognize all of those in our schools that are working so hard to celebrate end of the year events. Lots of testing going on. So just want to recognize that for a minute. Also, next week is National Teacher Appreciation Week and School Nurse Week. So want to take a minute and recognize those two groups for their amazing contributions to our school system. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Buckley. This brings us to board comments. I'll start down here on my left. Ms. Burrow?
I have no comment tonight.
Okay, Mr. Rothermel?
I've got a comment. With respect to the forthcoming career and technical education presentation, I'm proud of Winchester Public Schools CTE programs, which equip students with real-world skills, industry credentials, and meaningful career exploration opportunities. These programs are vital in preparing students for a range of fulfilling and sustainable career pathways. WPS's CTE efforts align with the Commonwealth's new 3E readiness framework, which recognizes enrollment, employment, and enlistment as equally valuable post-secondary outcomes. By integrating the 3E model, WPS is better equipped to support the diverse goals of all students and ensure that they are prepared for success, no matter which post-secondary path they choose. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rothermel. Dr. Tidrow?
It's Happy Apple Blossom.
Ms. Harris? Mr. Birchenough? Nope. All right, Mr. Island? Okay, then our student representatives. Let's start down at the end with Keith. Or you guys figure out how you want to do it.
For our school board, we are currently, for most of our schools, we're wrapping up for SWL testing, and a lot of our schools are having 5-star celebrations, spirit weeks, and getting geared up for Apple Blossom, which I'm excited for. And then at Hanley, I'll let Kevin talk about our prom initiatives and Spirit Week.
So our prom is set to be on May 17th, 7 to 10 p.m. at the Monument in Old Town. And we have our PBIS incentives have been going pretty well in general at Hanley. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you guys very much. Prom at the Monument? That's pretty cool. You guys excited? Like, everybody at Hanley's pretty... All right, okay, all right, I like it. Very good. Yeah, all right, great. All right, this brings us to the recognitions portion of our agenda, where we will be recognizing the VSBA Business Honor Roll. Miss Katie Lockhart, I saw. Welcome.
Thank you. And I'd like to invite Brooke Sigler up as well with Byler and Company. And I'd like to grab my... Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to be here. Each year, the Virginia School Board Association gives divisions the opportunity to recognize up to 3 business partners who have had a significant impact on the students in the division. It's my pleasure tonight to get to recognize the contributions of Byler and Company, and more specifically, Tyler Byler, who was not able to be here due to family illness, and Brooke Sigler, in particular, who have invested their time and efforts in supporting the students of Winchester in a variety of ways. Tyler is the founder and owner of the company, and Brooke is the executive assistant. At times, small business partners sometimes find it difficult to be able to invest a lot of time and energy into more direct support of students, just by the nature of having a small number of employees and the manpower to do so. And while by no means am I saying small businesses don't support WPS, it's just more of a task for them sometimes. Byler and Company has demonstrated that as a business, they are small and mighty. The relationship with WPS started roughly 3 years ago now, with Sarah Weinstein, our work-based learning coach, having made a connection with someone from F&M Bank. They brought her together with Byler Construction. They came out for a tour, and that led to, they had no idea what all was awaiting for them. We'll get our hooks in and bring you on board. At that time, Luis Marquez Cardoso was a senior in the carpentry class. We wanted to have a work-based learning opportunity that year. He was given a job shadow with Byler Construction, which became a good fit and turned into a paid internship for him that year. He continued to grow both while he was at the Innovation Center and working with Byler throughout the year. His internship was successful, and it turned into a job offer upon graduation. Luis is now in his 2nd year of employment with Byler and is also currently working on getting his electricity endorsement through Laurel Ridge's Workforce Solutions. And in addition, Luis continues to come back to Hanley to help support Byler in construction and the students of Hanley. It's been a great thing that Luis is such a good worker because he's laid the foundation for additional support. Tyler and Brooke had even bigger dreams to help students more hands-on then. In the fall of 2023, they approached us about collaborating on a trade show for younger students to help expose them to career opportunities in the trades. We invited in Frederick County and Clark County to participate at the time to be at the tables to start collaborating for a spring event that year. If you've ever planned an event of the size and scope, you understand that that's not just a one-time get-together plan and it's all done. That is ongoing, consistent, bringing people to the table. Brooke and Tyler were both very much at the table month after month as we continued to plan that event. This became the Shenandoah Valley Career Showcase. Byler was there putting in the legwork and helping bring the business partners to the table for this event. This year we did the 2nd annual Shenandoah Valley Showcase at Hanley. On March 28th, we had 370 students from both Winchester Public Schools and Frederick County Schools, and we had roughly 32 business partners attend. The feedback was so positive from students. The things that we overheard as they were leaving, it was unreal. One of our favorite comments we heard from the students, though, was, "This makes the real world seem less scary," which is an incredible feat for them. There were a lot of students. One business partner also had some positive feedback saying the students were all super engaged and respectful. There were a lot of students that weren't interested in our field but stopped by to ask us questions and talk about it to consider if they ever could be. Whatever you guys are doing, keep at it. At one point during the planning, Frederick County Schools expressed concern of the cost of transportation being a barrier to them being able to bring students to the event. Byler stood up to the challenge and paid for the buses to ensure the students of Frederick County would be able to attend as well. And a final fun fact about this event, Luis comes to represent Byler and Company at the showcase and engages with our students, so talk about a full circle moment. Each year, we have students participate in co-curricular trades student organizations. For example, in the Trade and Industrial, it is Skills USA. Skills USA district competition is a demonstration of the skills and technical abilities that students have earned through participation in their program. This is the first year that we undertook being the host of the district skills event, and at that point we needed some actual industry professionals to come in and be the judges and help coordinate the event. So, of course, we asked Tyler as well to come in to help support with that. He willingly stepped up to the plate and accepted the unknown challenge of what it meant to run and judge a competition. As a result, we hosted 9 students in a carpentry district competition. Those students that won the competition will go on to state. As you can see, there's so many reasons that we've selected to honor Tyler, Brooke, and Byler and Company this year, but given their spirits and dedication to the future generation, this is one that deserves great recognition. Partners like this enable us to create some amazing opportunities for the students of Winchester and give students insight into their futures. Tyler and Brooke are the partners that are truly dedicated to giving back to their community and helping to shape the future generations. We sincerely appreciate all that they've done and how much they've invested their time and efforts to help provide the students here a look into their futures. And they build some amazing houses too. Take a look at their website. Thank you for all you have done, and we hope you will continue to do. So, I'd like to share that with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
While you guys get your picture taken, I'm going to say, on behalf of the board, Ms. Sigler, thank you so very much, and please pass along to your partner, Mr. Byler, our gratitude as well from Winchester Public Schools. Thank you.
Oh, well, and I just want to say real quick, everybody's been so amazing. If we need help with anything and the stuff that you guys are doing, the Innovation Center and beyond, I also want to shout out too that you don't always see principals and superintendents and all these people showing up at every event, and they do. And I just think that's a testimony to Winchester Public Schools. So you guys are amazing. Keep doing it. We'll keep doing it. It's a great partnership. So thank you.
All right, deal. Thank you. Okay, we have a need for public comment this evening. We have one person who has signed up, Mr. Bob Ryan. Are you out there? As you approach the podium, Mr. Ryan, I have a lengthy kind of, I don't even know what we're calling this, but let me get through this, okay? Persons or groups appearing before the school board must state their name and address for the record. If representing a group, the name of the group shall be stated. Individual speakers shall limit their comments to 3 minutes per meeting. We have set aside 30 minutes for the public participation portion of our meeting, and speakers will speak based on the order in which they signed up. Speakers are not permitted to campaign for public office or promote private business ventures. They are not permitted to use profanity or vulgar language. They are not permitted to make comments about a public official or an employee that are not related to their official duties. They are not permitted to make comments that violate the privacy of any employee or student. They are not permitted to engage in behavior that disrupts the meeting or intimidates others, and they are not permitted to address the school board on issues that do not directly concern the services, policies, or responsibilities of the school board. As a general rule, school board members will not respond to public comment at the time it is presented. Thank you, Mr. Ryan.
Okay. My name is Bob Ryan. I live in Stevens City, 813 Fairfax Pike, which is Frederick County. Superintendent Van Hoekelum asked me to come and just talk a little bit in support of the idea or proposal to begin a junior ROTC program in Winchester Public Schools. I talked to the superintendent about a year ago. We discussed the idea. The reason is there's no JROTC or JROTC program in Frederick County, Clark County, Warren County, Shenandoah County. The closest one is Loudoun County in Leesburg or Jefferson County in West Virginia. There's also one in Hayfield. They're the 3 closest ones. If you have a JROTC program, it brings a lot of prestige to your school. It's a bonus to the school if you can support one. Now, the downside is there's a waiting list. They don't just give one to everyone. And it's a long process. You have to apply. You have to get on the waiting list. And the sooner you get on it, the better. Right now, they add 10 programs a month. I'm talking Army JROTC. There is no Army program anywhere near here. There's a Navy program in Loudoun and Air Force in the two West Virginia schools. So the Army, we would be the only Army or JROTC program. And I come to you with a background because my son went through this whole thing, this whole process. He went to Loudoun County High School, 4 years junior ROTC. At the end of his 4 years when he graduated, he received a full 4-year scholarship to the University of North Georgia, which is into their ROTC program. And now he is a first lieutenant in the Army Airborne. So I've been through it. I know how it works. I really support it because it brings a lot to your school. It adds to your school system. There's a lot of opportunities that come with it. There's activities, there's special events, there's national competitions. They have orienteering, PT, drill team, color guard, pretty much everything that you would experience in the Army or any other branch of the service. The bonus there is that the Army pays for almost everything. You would get, there's a cost share for the instructors. For every 100 cadets you have, you need to have 2 instructors.
Mr. Ryan, your time is up. Is there a last idea that you can leave us with?
I just want to say that the Army would pay for 50% of the instructors, uniforms, awards, transportation. You get computers, TVs, everything. You get a curriculum and textbooks. They have drone and robotics kits that are provided free. The only thing that the school would have to provide would be a space and 50% of the 2 instructors.
All right. Thank you very much. I know we have that coming up on the agenda to hear about, so maybe we'll hear a little bit more about that at that time.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan.
Yep.
Is there anybody present here that would like to address the board that didn't get a chance to sign up before the meeting? Okay, seeing none, we will move forward with the consent agenda, which includes the approval of the consent agenda items, the agenda, the minutes, the bills, the monthly finance report, facility usage, special education annual plan, and the minor policy revisions.
Motion to approve consent agenda items as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Island. Second by Dr. Tedrow. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, consent agenda is adopted. Reports and presentations. We're bringing back Miss Lockhart for this one. The Katie Show, yeah.
Well, we're celebrating CTE tonight, so I appreciate your time. Well, good evening. I'm proud tonight to get to share about Winchester's career and technical education programs. Just as a piece of background information, I started out my career as a high school counselor. Career and technical education for me just made sense. I wanted to help prepare students, be able to capitalize on opportunities that they had while they're in high school so that when they walk out of the door, they walk out with as much as we can possibly give them. A few critical pieces I'd like to leave you with tonight about CTE is number 1, career and technical education is for everyone. Not as it was historically thought of as just for those who weren't going to college. Add to that, a key reframing of thinking is that we want all students to think in terms of what they want to do for their career. All students are going to have a career, and we want them to use our programs to help make informed decisions about what they want for their next steps, so they can take that to get them to where they want to be. Oh, sorry, PDF. So our programs in Winchester are unique. We have very dynamic programs that provide the application of core subject areas. CTE helps make the core content make sense for students and tie in the purpose behind why they're learning their content. We have a wide array of programs that we hope that while we cannot offer everything to everyone, that the skills that they walk away with are transferable and still have the groundwork for their future options. We have worked hard over the last 4 years to build up our opportunities with our work-based learning options, combining the soft skills that students learn through problem solving, practical work, and projects within their programs with the ability to give them glimpses of the real world of work give students as much as we can to pave the way for diverse and promising futures. The next two slides demonstrate the variety of opportunities that students have in Winchester. Programs are selected with intentionality and with attention to the future labor market, student interests, and will they be a part of a completed sequence, which entails 2 courses within the content with one building on top of the other. If you notice, our program areas are aligned with labor market demands to ensure that students gain technical skills and exposure to in-demand career options. CTE spans grades 6 through 12 and includes programs at Daniel Morgan Intermediate, Daniel Morgan Middle, and John Hanley High School in the Innovation Center. As I said before, the idea is to focus on career as the final goal in a student's journey. I had the benefit of speaking with the 8th grade class a few weeks ago and shared this slide with them as well. We want students to be ready for whatever life may take them, and for them to start with their goal orientation now. We want a rigorous program of study that incorporates the development of their intellectual understanding and practical competence. We want students to develop a plan and understand the process of what it takes to revise their plan should life get in the way and they need to make adjustments. We want them to be very intentional about what their pathway is when they leave us. Gone are the days of going to college to major in anything. College is too expensive to be a career exploration opportunity. That's why it's critical that we provide as many opportunities to show students what their choices can be and how to get there, and that we need all pathways to be a global society. With that being said, here's a mashup of the many different career exploration opportunities. It could be an entire presentation of itself, the number of options we've given to students. From the world of work, speed networking, the Shenandoah Valley Career Showcase, and the variety of job shadows and other work-based learning opportunities, we provide as many different methods to expose students to options as we can. In addition, we do various guest speakers, panels of professionals, and opportunities like bringing in Shenandoah University's Physician Assistance Program students to give our students rotations about what it means to be a PA for a day. Just on Friday, we learned that we have 3 students out of 8 students who were selected to be paid interns for the summer as part of a project with Valley Health. It's called the Healthcare Hospitality. 25 students attended a job shadow experience where they were given the opportunity to apply to work in the nutrition and environmental services departments this summer. The 8 students were selected among that group of 28 from Frederick, Clark, and Winchester. So for us, 38% of the positions went to our students, so that's pretty significant. We have other events like the Police and Military Day, where the Winchester Police Department brought on site to our students various activities that they could learn about career tasks. Then there's the opportunities like an artist in residence, where partners can come in and teach about their career field. For example, our carpentry program, we don't cover roofing. However, there's a need there for professionals in the industry, and Peak Roofing came in and brought their tools and equipment and taught the class for the day and demonstrated how they would put on a roof. The great thing is we're flexible. We meet the partners where they are and what they're comfortable with giving the students as opportunities. And we want to give them as much opportunity to see as much of the world around them as we can. They can't be what they can't see, so we want to show them as much as possible. In addition to exposure, we want to give the students as much value add to their high school diploma as possible. So one measure of success for CTE is the attainment of industry-recognized credentials. Students have a number of opportunities to take credentials that can be the difference for them between one applicant and another in a job interview. We want to give them that leg up. Earning an industry credential is one component of a graduation requirement. And sometimes that's unfortunate when something becomes a graduation requirement, because then we have to start pressing out as much as possible. But earning a credential, taking an AP class, a dual enrollment class, an honors class, or doing a work-based learning opportunity. Students have to do one of those 5 options for graduation purposes in order to graduate. As you can see here, we've grown in the number of credentials that students have earned. You will see that there's a little bit of a bump up in 22-23. That was kind of a catch-up time after the COVID restrictions were lifted, we had a number of students that had not had an opportunity, so the numbers crept up there, and then we leveled back off in the following year, which is why the balancing out. When we have students that have earned a workplace readiness credential, they only take it the one time while they're in high school. So after we ramped up to catch up those kids that had missed during the 21-22 school year, then we kind of leveled back off. We'd like students to walk out with as many credentials as possible. Ideally, we'd have a student walk out and they'd earn the workplace readiness skills, the WISE financial literacy, and an AWS welding certification or some other technical skills certification. And in support of what I said earlier about creating intentional program studies with goal for their future, we'd like all students to graduate as a completer. However, a point to this note, this year's graduating class did take, 90% of the graduates have taken at least one CTE course. This excludes the economics and personal finance because it's a requirement, so we don't count that as them taking a course because that's not an elective opportunity for them. So we're doing a good job of getting our students through, and I'll share that a little bit here on this next slide. This is a snapshot with our affinity group from the data of the class of 2024. As you can see, we still want to continue to grow with our completers. Our 61% completion does incorporate students who were in the graduation cohort but didn't graduate versus the previous slide that was just based on the total number of student graduates. So that's where the disparity is between those. But additionally, the percentage of students who earned a credential is my favorite statistic here because our students have outpaced all of our comparison group. For the College Career and Civic Readiness Index, which is no more now, the threshold for the state was to have an 85% rate. That has been adapted to be the 3E measure as that has shifted forward for this year. However, we were one of the few school divisions in the state of Virginia that actually hit that mark on the first year. CTE enrollment is tracked twice a year with the master schedule collection. So this is part of our fall 25 master schedule selection you see here. You can see we've continued to expand in the number of sections of classes we offer to students, and this is in grades 6 through 12, as well as the number of students enrolled in those sections. We've continued to grow. This is a duplicated count, so the students enrolled in 2 CTE classes could be counted into these numbers twice. Work-based learning. Work-based learning is one area that is undergoing some changes as well. At the current moment, there are 12 types of work-based learning opportunities. The state is currently revising that and trimming that number back down, but that's still in flux at the moment, so we hope to see what that looks like soon. But that opportunity can span the scale from as little as a one-day job shadow, a student who's had up to a student that has sufficient skills that are equivalent to be an entry-level employee and can have a paid co-op position. Currently, Winchester Public Schools proudly employs 17 entry-level employees as co-ops and interns in various capacities aligned with their career goals and coursework. So we're doing our part as well as a community business organization in addition to educating our students. As you can see here, we continue to grow in the number of opportunities. Sarah Weinstein, our work-based learning coach, who's here with me tonight, has worked really hard making new relationships with partners on a daily basis, in addition to supporting students and pairing them up with our current placements. The placement of the student into opportunities includes significant legwork along the way. The student, employer, teacher, and parents, as well as the work-based learning coach, collaborate on the development of an individualized training plan for the student so that all parties involved are on the same page for what the expectations of the opportunity will look like. But even before that point, she has to vet all of our opportunities to ensure a safe environment for students, as well as securing a partnership agreement with the business to ensure the understanding of expectations of the employer and what is needed for the students. It's a significant process to develop these business partnerships, so I sincerely thank her for all her hard work. We're very fortunate to have her dedication to creating these opportunities for our students. As I alluded earlier, in regard to earning of credentials, the new 3E model, one of the E's is related to employment. Industry credentials we offer will be the main measure of that component of the 3E model. along with the engagement and work-based learning opportunities. This is in high demand area. Along with this, in addition to a high demand area being a completer, will be worth the highest number of points for the employment aspect. Currently, we offer 22 different industry credentials to students. Last year, our students took 1,214 different credential tests. This is what our students have been engaging in the last week and this week, so please forgive my little bit of mush brain. It's been a lot. But we've had a lot of success, and we're very proud of our students. CTE has a variety of funding sources. Industry credentials are not just tests that are created for high school students, but the majority are designed for the adult population and those that are ready for entry-level professional work, so it's not an easy task for our students to earn these credentials. As a result, our credentials have to be purchased. In addition to having the programs we do, it's important that we give the students exposure to the equipment and technology that they're going to utilize in industry. So the largest source of our funding for CTE is Perkins federal funds. These are intended to supplement and not supplant funds for CTE programs. And as with any grant, there are certain specifications as to what these funds can be used for. Some examples include equipment, career exploration, activities for students, software needed for curriculum implementation, professional development, and co-curricular student organizations. In addition to the Perkins federal funds, there are state allocations, 3 different allocations to support credential testing, 2 additional allocations to support the funding of equipment. Beyond the federal and state allocations, CTE is required to demonstrate a maintenance of effort for equipment, for programs, as well as local funding to support the consumables required to allow students to engage in our programs. So it's a very quick outline of how our programs are funded to ensure we maintain relevance and provide the highest quality of opportunities for our students. And the exciting thing is, all of this hard work of our students culminates in a time of celebration. So I'd like to invite you all to come see what our students have been doing this year. Next week, on May 7th, from 4 to 6 p.m., you can come see what our programs have been doing for our students. In addition to programs at the Innovation Center, highlighted, we will have Daniel Morgan students in their CTE programs. We'll have art students there to show off their work, and we're happy to share in the successes of the school year. And I hope you're all able to make it. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much, Ms. Lockhart. Any questions? Yeah, Ben, please.
On pages 3 and 4, there's a list of, I think, 24 CTE programs. Are those all, what is the relationship of those to WPS? Are those?
These are all programs that we offer.
Okay. So how does that work? So for instance, like item 20, entrepreneurship, like what is the relationship of that with classes and things like that?
So when students meet with their counselor, well, ideally, when they're in middle school, they're developing an academic and career plan. So they will map out what they want to do and what their career goals. So they sit down with the counselor and talk about these are the different opportunities. Because to me, I think your electives are probably some of the most important classes that you take, because it's your opportunity to test out what your options are going to be for the world. So they can create that. So hopefully they sit down with the counselor and say, you know, I'm interested in business. This is what I want to do. And the counselor can say, you know, we have an entrepreneurship class that would be a really great fit for you. And they put that as part of their schedule. So they are, all of these are elective courses with the exception of economics and personal finance. So it's up to the choice of the students as to what opportunities they want to take advantage of. And hopefully it aligns with their career goals or helps them to create their career goals. Does that answer? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rothermel. Any other questions for Ms. Lockhart? Yes, Kevin.
I just want to make a comment. So I have been job shadowing my junior year and my senior year as well, and I've been interning for the city in the planning and zoning department, community development department, and it's broadened my understanding of what it means to be a city planner, but it also allowed me to meet many different people in different careers. I met many consultants that are related to planning or housing, and I went to a housing summit at Shenandoah University my junior year, and I just met many amazing people there, and it just really just made me feel like, I can't really explain it, but like I just felt like there's like many paths that I can take. So it really just helped me just think like I could like be in something to do with housing or transportation and stuff. And so it does really help. And I do think it's very important, and it's great that we're doing it here in our school district, that we are showing what is possible to students that don't really know what they want to do in life. Because I feel like what has been in the past decades is that the ideal job is a white-collar job, and I don't think that fits for everyone. And so just showing people that you can be an electrician or a carpenter, etc., like that really helps people to just find what they're passionate about and have like a fulfilled career, but also just have a more content life. So I feel like that's important, because there's more than just college, and I feel like it's very important to show that to our students.
Thank you. And I didn't even pay Kevin to do that. Thank you so much. It's perfect to have your insight and opportunity.
Anybody else have a comment or a question for Ms. Lockhart? Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your presentation.
I'll be back in a second.
Okay. Is she the ROTC one too? Oh, okay, you're coming right back. Yeah, I see that now. Okay.
Well, hi again. Thank you so much for having us. It is a CTE show tonight, and one of the commonly unknown things is that JROTC is another type of career and technical education. It has some very unique aspects to it. Frequently, whenever we go to conferences or events in other school divisions, those divisions' JROTC programs will present the flags, and it's always remarkable to see their decorum and poise as they enter large number of rooms with adults to present the colors. Currently in WPS, we have a task force that's been working to determine the feasibility of initiating a JROTC program at Hanley High School, which is why Susan's here as well. General Colin Powell, who's a 4-star Army general, said, "The sole purpose is to improve our performance. It's not about your ego or mine. If we are a team, we can level with each other in a spirit of how do we do better." This speaks to the heart of JROTC's emphasis on teamwork, personal growth, and striving for excellence. A JROTC program offers a unique and multifaceted approach to developing well-rounded students and future citizens. Beyond any potential military affiliation, JROTC instills invaluable life skills such as leadership, self-discipline, teamwork, and responsibility. Cadets learn to set goals, manage their time effectively, and develop strong character, attributes that benefit them regardless of what their chosen career field is going to be. As I said previously, we value all pathways to help students in their career choices, and a JROTC program would provide yet another avenue for our students to develop the soft skills that are so necessary in any career path, as well as an opportunity to learn more about military as a career option and opening doors to scholarship opportunities. When divisions initiate a JROTC program, as Mr. Ryan stated earlier, they are provided an accredited rigorous curriculum that focuses on leadership development, the principles, theories, and opportunities to apply these skills. Citizenship and character development are components of the curriculum and develop such values as loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Additionally, practical life skills of communication, critical thinking, problem solving, and time management are pillars of the curriculum. In addition, students learn about geography, history, American government, and physical fitness. The curriculum is competency-based, which means cadets are expected to demonstrate their competence in one of the following ways: by making a decision, performing a skill, performing a service, solving a problem, or creating a product. All of these skills tie back very seamlessly to Winchester's skills and dispositions. In addition, extracurricular activities and competitions are key components of the program. One piece that is not only a useful piece for JROTC, but also for all students, is the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude and Battery, or ASVAB. This is a multi-aptitude test that's given free to students and is a predictor of future occupational opportunity and success, not only in the military, but in civilian fields as well. On April 8th, we gave the ASVAB to all our junior class, as well as seniors who opted to take the test. Students and families were provided the opportunity to opt out of the test prior to the test date through several different means of notification. 67% of the 11th graders opted to take the test. Students will be given the results along with an interpretation and free access to the Career Exploration Program that will allow students to research various careers related to their areas of aptitude. Because we were giving the ASVAB to the entire class, we did opt to not release the scores to recruiters. Students may, at an individual level, have the opportunity to share their scores with military recruiters should they choose. The ASVAB, in addition to being a good career exploration tool, is also how the 3E framework enlistment component will be measured. In addition, the House Bill 98 now allows school divisions the opportunity to utilize the participation of JRTC program to fulfill PE requirements to students in grades 9 through 12. Divisions would need to have a plan for the implementation of the health and driver's education component of the physical education curriculum for PE 9 and 10 if this option is chosen. However, this would be one answer to the concern of the time commitment that was addressed in one of the parent survey responses. The process to offer a JRTC program is more encompassing than offering other programs. Divisions must evaluate facility space and ensure enrollment capacities are met. After evaluation and determining of feasibility, schools are put into a pool and prioritized among divisions, all divisions requesting new programs. Your placement on the scale is not known by the division. At times, it can take up to 2 years before the division is eligible to start a program. So once a division has been selected, however, the supports that the military provide are significant. Reimbursement for the percentage of the instructor salaries, 2 are required. Cadet uniforms, curriculum, cadet travel, and equipment are all supported by the military. There are some constraints, however, that are important considerations. One of those being maintaining 100 students enrolled in the program. This is evaluated after the 3rd year of a program's implementation, and if within the first 30 days at the beginning of the 4th year, 100 students are not maintained in the program would be closed at the conclusion of the 4th year. Facilities is another area of careful consideration, the requirements being classroom space, office space, lockable storage, and both indoor and outdoor drill space with a 60 by 90 space required foot. Additionally, the budgetary implications are always a consideration when starting a program. 2 instructors are required by the military, and with us being required to maintain that 100, that's where those 2 instructors are required. The military will supplement the base salary, but only for 11 months, and we're required to maintain that for 12 months. So the investment on the side of a school division would be greater than what the military, not just a 50-50 investment. So, to start out, we wanted to gauge whether this was going to be an opportunity, a viable opportunity in our community. So we took the first step in a student survey. Students in grades 9 through 11 were given an overview of the program and the key components of what benefits a JRTC program would be in each advisory class. 480 students participated in the survey, and overall the response indicated that 30% of those surveyed would be interested in taking the JRTC program. So approximately 140 students indicated an interest, which is a pretty positive indicator for this program. In addition to the student survey, we conducted a parent survey to gauge the response of our parent community. Overall, the parent survey data was supportive. Parents were surveyed of students in grades K through 12. Of those who chose to respond, 75.6% were interested in the benefits of the program. Main expectation from them being leadership development of students, followed by character building, career exploration, physical fitness, and academic improvement. were some of the key indicators they were looking for in a program. An open-ended question of comments and questions regarding JRTC program also demonstrated overall support and belief it would be a valuable addition to WPS. Parents expressed desire for career exploration, post-graduation option exposure, financial assistance in post-secondary education, and overall positive impact on students. Some of the considerations were concerns with finding the leadership of a program, which has its own entire process through the military, the costs associated, and the inclusion of outdoor leadership. There were several statements of strong support, such as "Start it now. It's a great opportunity. We'd love to see the program in Winchester," just to name a few. So for budgetary components, the budgetary commitment would entail some commitment from Winchester Public Schools. However, in some respects, not as much as other programs would. If WPS is selected to initiate a program, the Army would share in the cost of subsidizing the salaries of 2 required instructors, equipment needed, uniforms, and cadet travel. Some of the anticipated costs on behalf of WPS would include the balance of the instructor pay and benefits, consumables for the program, cleaning of uniforms annually, and potentially a marksmanship facility rental and transport. An additional consideration would be some renovations to the space at John Hanley in order to accommodate the needs of the program. And at this time, we would like to seek the board's support to continue to explore the fit of this for our students and our community and the sustainability the program requires. The program would align with our Empower 2025 strategic plan by providing another avenue of opportunity for students in a comprehensive pathway to employment, enrollment, enlistment, and entrepreneurship. It also developed a new community network to help support the vision and mission of WPS. This would enhance an area of a career pathway for students to explore more at an intentional level in addition to the development of skills and dispositions needed for any career path. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Lockhart. Any questions? Okay, Dr. Tedrow?
Yeah, I have a number of questions, so if you'll bear with me. So first of all, I wanted to ask you if this program were begun, do you start it in 9th grade and then move up?
Yes.
Okay, so, and then the 100 students would be across all 4 grades?
Yes.
Okay, and when you surveyed the students, was it this grades 9 through 12?
Yes.
So they would not really be impacted at all if you were to begin it next year. So did you talk to the 8th graders and the 7th graders to see if they had an interest in?
So we did do that with the parent survey, not with the student survey yet. But that's certainly a piece we can go back and look at as we continue to explore.
I would ask them, because they would be the ones who would be able to actually take the program. The other was, I wondered, I'm always thinking logistics, so is this a parallel curriculum? In other words, if you go into ROTC, are you taking these courses that are required outside of what the district curriculum is, or are they integrated? For instance, you have to take government as part of our district curriculum. Would that qualify as a ROTC program, or do they have to take it in their own shell?
So it would be a standalone. The only place that it could supplant something would be in that PE 9 and 10 if that's the option we chose. So it could take the place of those 2 requirements, but then the years in junior and senior year would be elective courses.
The ROTC would be elective courses?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just curious about that. And then my last question was, they took the ASVAB in the 11th grade. That seems a little late if they're going to take advantage of these 20-some programs that you guys are offering. Are they able to take it earlier? I mean, I know we did it before in the 11th grade pretty typically, but are the kids able to take it earlier than that?
You know, I'd have to look into that, honestly. It's recommended at the 11th and 12th grade level because obviously with it having that military preparation, you know, it is very much, it's got a verbal component, mathematical understanding and reasoning, so
I took
probably
it
the foundation.
I remember. I mean, everything you've described tonight, I did when I was in high school, including the vocational programming that I still use all those skills, even though I'm not a secretary anymore. But so that ASVAB is a useful tool. I wondered why we can't get it in earlier for the kids so they can figure out what their affinities are. I mean, it kind of pinpoints some skills that you have. Those were all my questions.
Sure.
Thank you.
And for us, it was a very, historically, we have offered the ASVAB, but it's only been on a sign-up basis. So this was really a test run this year to see what that would look like for us to be able to offer it holistically. So it was kind of a pilot year for giving it to an entire grade level. As military, they're looking for, okay, what are your next steps going to be when you walk out of our door? So it will help them in guiding for what their next steps, but I agree, we want them to take advantage of our opportunities while they're free. So we have already made one adjustment for next year. We're going to offer it in the fall to the junior class so that we are able to use that for a little bit better planning. But, I'll certainly get back with you about what it would look like for younger and what the recommendations are.
Anybody else? Ms. Burrow?
I just want to say I'm really excited about this. I think that in talking with Jason about my son personally, his commitment to the military is admirable. The ASVAB, I think it's 16, 17, you have to be legally to take it. So I just know because I researched it. The only question that I have is just the building renovations, just from what I've seen in costs that we're seeing for building renovations, this is super low to me. So what are we looking at when we're talking about $250,000?
Talk a little bit about So for classroom space, we have spaces that our CTE programs moved out of when they moved up to the Innovation Center. So we do have some spaces at Hanley that are still equipped and outfitted as if they were that. So I don't think we're looking at a huge renovation undertaking like addition or anything like that, but those spaces will need a little bit of a facelift and some adjustments before they're going to be a good classroom space again.
So that was my question, but I have a comment. I'm really excited that this is an opportunity that we're looking at, because when I was in high school, I wanted this. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to have students who are ready, lined up to do this. So, but yeah, the building renovations was the big thing for me as well.
Thank you.
I was just going to add, yes, that's a great question about the building, but like Katie said, we have space. We'd have to look deeper at the specs and stuff like that and what is absolutely necessary. So we do have space. It's just going to be what those requirements are once we start digging in a little further.
Any other questions or comments? Mike?
Yeah, no, I'm supportive of this. I have a son in Civil Air Patrol, so kind of similar. I guess my question is, and one thing CAP, Civil Air Patrol, preaches is, we're not trying to recruit your kids into the military. Like, I don't know what the tenor is on this program. Is it like, we expect you to join the Army when you graduate? Nothing like that.
No, that's what I wondered about that as well as we dug in and started looking at this. It's the same. It's the desire is to build up the leadership and those interpersonal, those soft skill qualities of students to prepare them, whatever that is. Now, of course, they're going to give them opportunities to learn about military careers and what those steps would look like, but it's not we're pushing you in and we're preparing you for military enlistment.
All right, I have a couple of questions as well. I share in the sentiment of this being very exciting, and I hope we're able to bring it to WPS. That said, how rigid is the 100 student limitation and the 2 instructor limitation? And I don't just mean, I do mean could we do 1 instructor with a 50? No, you can't do that. Well, what if you had 500 students to 2 instructors? That seems untenable.
No, it does specify that once you get over 150 students, then you need to have additional instructors.
Okay.
And the 100 is their bottom limit. It's either 100 as a minimum or 10% of your population from middle school and high school. So certainly that would be we do have 3 years to build up to that before they say, okay, well, you're not getting there and maintaining those 100 students. So we do have that little bit of grace period to get where we need to be. Right.
One last question, and it has to do with this last slide where it says 2 instructors at 12 months. The Army contributes $75,000, but WPS contributes. Oh, that includes benefits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just their base salary, and it's only for 11 months. and we need them for 12 months.
Right, but if you add that together, you get $250,000 divided by 2. We're not paying $125,000 salary to one of these instructors.
No.
Okay,
No,
okay.
it's the benefits.
It's the
component.
benefits. Thank you for that. Okay. Ms. Burrow?
Yes, you actually made me think of another question. Just, you said there's schools that are further away that have this program. Do they have any issues with meeting those requirements for enrollment?
So I've talked to Harrisonburg City and Loudoun County, and of course, Loudoun is a tough, they're much larger, so of course, they certainly don't have those problems. But Harrisonburg City is a much more comparable size to us, and they have no problems with it. They have a very engaging, dynamic instructor, which we know that will always attract students. So that is a key piece, is having the right instructor in place too.
Sorry. So this was just for me. So what is our top number of students that you would like stop at for? Because we're going to have the instructors, and we're going to have to pay them. So what would be the
149.
That's the top number.
I mean, ideally, we could grow and add additional instructors, but I'd love to see us be able to hit that maximum capacity of what we're able to with the 2 instructors until we build out that program. And I sure hope we are there.
And so, ladies, our next step is we will complete an application, and it's a lengthy process. I just wanted the board to know that. It wouldn't be next school year, but we're hopeful for the following. Oh, okay. So we would, if the application were to be approved.
And I just want to add that Katie has a visit lined up for Harrisonburg? Loudoun. On May 1st. So we have a lot of facility questions. So those were all great questions. We're really excited. The initial survey, we know we miss kids in surveys, but those initial results were really favorable, that we have kids interested. Then giving them this exciting opportunity is just another layer of what we're offering our students.
So because of a lengthy process, this is likely something that this board is setting up for a future iteration of this board to follow through on. All right, thank you. Very good to know. Any other questions or comments? All right, thanks to you both.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Agenda item number 6, action items. We will be discussing with Ms. McDonald the retention bonuses.
Good evening this evening. So now it's the Holly Show for the rest of the meeting. Before you have the retention bonus that we discussed at the last meeting. And so we're putting forth to you, we presented the 3 scenarios, and we're putting forth for you a recommendation for board approval for scenario 2, which is the $750 bonus. The state funding we're expected to receive, but we're still unknown. It hasn't been determined yet. That is still sitting on the governor's desk to see what he will do with what the legislature sent back to him. Would provide $446,920, and we would have local funding need of $177,181 for a total of $624,101. Reminder that the $171 would be coming from this balance of the additional state funding we're expecting that we presented during the budget, that due to our increased ADM enrollment. Any questions? Otherwise, I'd look for a motion.
Thank you very much, Ms. McDonald. Yes, so nothing's changed since the last time we had this discussion.
No, we're still waiting to hear, and so if we don't receive the funding, I guess it would be up to the board to determine whether we still do the bonuses or not, or if that's part of your motion.
So, okay, maybe let me look at how the motion's written. Maybe then we say something, we amend it to say something like pending the receipt of, how did you word it? From Richmond?
The passing of the state budget and whether it continues to contain this retention bonus.
Okay, can we add that in if this motion gets made? Perfect. All right, if
I was going to say, I was going to.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Mr. Burchenoff.
Anybody else have questions? I was going to try to bungle this motion, but motion to approve retention bonus scenario 2 as presented, assuming our state estimates are correct.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Birchenough, a second by Ms. Burrow. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is this you again, Ms. McDonald? It is.
It is.
The
Me
budget
again.
amendment. Take it away.
You have before you our recommended budget amendments for FY 2025. We bring these forth to you typically in October and April of each year. It's representative of additional funding sources that we've had come through or expecting to come through before the end of the year. So we're appropriating those funds, revenues and expenditures. We have a state funding increase that we presented to you in the budget of the $1,341,058, which we just discussed that the bonus would come, the local funding would come out of. We have state funding increase of potential of the $446,920, which would be that retention bonus. We have an Afghan award grant for the balance of FY25 that employs a parent liaison. It's $20,000 through the end of this fiscal year, and then we will have additional funding through that grant into FY26 that would come back in our October appropriations. Our state security grant awards of $12,001 and $32,038. That details there those funds and how those were spent for security equipment. We have state extended school year grant, $230,000 that this would take us, the funds that would be used through FY25, and we have additional funding that we would be bringing back in October for that as well that will go into FY26 at that time. We have our ACSE grant award of $75,000. We have a Valley Health partnership of $791,920. We have a Hanley Trust Award. This is a decrease of $110,000. We actually had that in our FY25 budget, and then we brought it to you in appropriations in October in error, so this is taking away that duplication. Then we have a city budget decrease of $52,206. This is to reconcile our school city funding appropriation balance to what the city shows as our appropriation balance, so that's just us reconciling with the city to get on the same page wise with our appropriation balance from them. And then fundraising fund, we have a Hanley capital donation of $2,025. This is a capital pledge through life insurance where the policy is named for Winchester Public Schools. We have federal fund, we have McKinney-Vento decrease of $1,071. Literacy grant award of $28,000. These are $14,000 each for Virginia Avenue and Frederick Douglass. And then we have a TSL, our TSL grant finished up in January, and our metrics grant as well. Those are our finalization on those grants, which are reimbursable grants, to finish our appropriations out and close those grants out. And then we have the Food Services Fund. We have a supplemental appropriation from their fund balance as a request of $260,000. This is to cover such increases in their costs, uniforms, cleaning, paper, equipment, and the salary increases that are proposed and bonuses. Because they are an enterprise fund, they fund themselves. So, do I have any questions around the appropriations?
Comments or questions from Ms. McDonald? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion if it's the will of the board. We have a motion by Mr. Island and a second by Mr. Rothermel. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
One more time, Ms. McDonald.
One more time. We have our scholarships in front of you for FY25. We bring this to you each spring. It is our scholarship recommendations. This is our list of scholarships that we maintain. We notify Hanley that these scholarships are available, and then their counseling department takes it from there, and any applications and committee review. We also have our Shingleton Scholarship on here and our Cooper Scholarship. The rest of the scholarships are in our pooled fund, except for our Overcash Scholarship, which is maintained outside of the division, and they have their own committee and choose their own candidate in regards, and then the money is given to us, and we basically process all the scholarships out to the universities once the candidates are selected and they submit their documentation of enrollment to us. Then we pay the universities directly. We had a meeting on our pooled investment funds. Mr. Birchenough, thank you. And Mr. Eland attended that meeting in regards to with our Truist investment and reviewed the investment account with the Truist representatives. Any questions? If not, I look for a recommendation to award the $56,250 in the scholarships for FY25.
Any questions for Ms. McDonald? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the disbursement of $56,250 in scholarships to 2025 John Hanley High School graduates from the Cooper, Armstrong, Shingleton, and pooled scholarship funds.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Harris, second by Ms. Burrow. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. We do have a need for closed session this evening. I'll turn it over to Mr. Birchenough.
Pursuant to Section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia, a motion that the board convene in closed session for the purpose of discussing personnel matters, including prospective candidates for employment and the assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees, specifically candidates for instructional/licensed positions, coaching stipends, substitute teachers, and support staff, transfers, and resignations.
Okay, motion by Mr. Birchenough. Second. I heard Mr. Island. I'm going to give it to Mr. Island. Second to Mr. Island. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're in closed session.